This is Brian Cantor at the CCW Executive Exchange, and we just had a phenomenal session. It focused on the role that artificial intelligence and automation can play within the contact center, play within the customer experience function, and we had Nate Rosenthal of Square sharing his ideas. Now, Nate, normally I may ask someone, how are they using AI within their contact center, within their customer experience? For you, it's almost, where aren't you using it? It seems like you're using it for every major function, every major task to really augment the way you connect with your customers.
Yeah, I think that's something that that you find across Square too. It's not unique to our customer success team. It's something where there's a leadership mandate that we should be looking at how we apply data science, machine learning to everything that we're doing, and so we've taken that approach too. I think the key is that we start small. We don't try to boil the ocean and do it all at once, but we have small projects and small tests running kind of across our entire ecosystem, end-to-end operations of how can we leverage this to be smarter, to improve the customer experience, and to reduce costs.
And that was what I was going to ask, because I think that test is really important, because when you're a technology-driven company, you can always come up with creative ideas, creative things you can do, but really making sure that you're selecting the right applications, that's got to be a huge part of your focus.
Totally, and we take a really data-driven approach to identifying what are those top opportunities, but it doesn't stop with just, okay, well, this is the biggest opportunity, because then it's also, well, can you actually do something about it? So it's the combination or the equation of, this is a big opportunity, but this is also an achievable opportunity to go tackle, and kind of it's the multiplication of those things. So you might not even take the third or fourth biggest opportunity, you might take the fifth biggest opportunity and really focus there. And if you can do a few of those lower hanging fruit opportunity wins, you're going to be successful.
Now, one of the constant conversation topics when you look into AI is how it intersects with humanity. And I think there's really two ways that conversation needs to go. The first is really looking at ways to use technology to make humans better and more capable.
Exactly. And so we're looking at it from that perspective of how do we take the data that we have from all the interactions and really learn from that rather than just let it disappear and have every new interaction with a customer start from scratch. It's really important to us that we're able to provide our advocates with the tools necessary to make their lives easier so that they can really then focus on making a connection with the customer, focus on the customer experience of that specific interaction, and executing on a really good call than trying to track down information or understand what's going on.
Now, the other element, though, is the management of it, making sure that you have some humans involved with executing the technology, make sure it's learning right, thinking about the implications on the business. So how do you kind of structure that? How do you build knowledge about automation? How do you build an automation culture within an organization?
Yeah, I think that's really important, because all of our data science and machine learning tools really start with people, and they were built by people and they were trained by people. So we have bot managers within the company for our automated experiences who actually look at those experiences, who do QA on those experiences, who take a look at when we're getting customer feedback that wasn't a good solution or it wasn't a great experience, how do we make that better? They're also looking at that in other areas too.
Now, one of the things that was great, because you were built on automatically using artificial intelligence principles, you kind of discussed your business journey and right off the bat used it to kind of authenticate customers and assess risk. And so that's always been part of your framework. And what I'd imagine is advantageous about that is you think about the results and the applications based on the same way you would any customer experience endeavor. It's not, oh, how will AI transform this? It is, are we delivering the best customer experience or not?
Right, and how do you take a data science lens and apply that to the experience you're trying to create? We're not creating an experience and then going back later and saying, okay, how do we apply AI to this? It's more just as you would have a designer involved in a conversation about an experience, you have a data scientist involved in that conversation. And we actually have a weekly meeting with our kind of customer success leadership team where we have a cross-functional group that doesn't just stop with even our business owners or data scientists, but also includes our finance partners and our marketing partners, and make sure that we're all thinking about how do we improve the customer experience.
Now, there's obviously a lot of applications, opportunities to use automation, but there's going to be some cases where, doing it the old-fashioned way is still what wins out. So from your experience, being an organization born in the digital age, constantly thinking about how technology can improve the experience, have there been any cases where, even though there is a technology item that may be able to do it, you still prefer to use humans, you still prefer to do it as a traditional call center might?
Yeah, and that's been an evolution for us. I think that I've been at Square for 7 years, and when we started, the mindset and the approach was really this product. We should build a product that doesn't require human intervention or access. And so we focused a lot on self-service, on automation, and on email support. We came to quickly realize that there's a tremendous value in actually removing friction, making it easier to interact with us, providing a phone service channel, and talking to customers. And that added a ton of business value. We saw all of our churn and retention metrics went in the right direction. We saw customer satisfaction more than double, and customer effort just continued to go down. So we have invested in areas, and really our goal is not to automate everything, but it's to automate the right things and provide then more resources and investment for customers that are dealing with much trickier situations, maybe want to be educated more on how do they improve their business or their operations. So we really want to be more adding value than dealing with customers who hit a dead end or a bug or a poor experience.
And that's what I was going to ask. I think kind of determining that dichotomy where when is it appropriate to use AI to solve a problem versus when is it more useful to have it augment an agent solving the problem?
Yeah, and that's where we really take a data-driven approach to, even at an issue-specific level, or a customer, kind of what does this customer look like, and what's in their best interest to help them get back to running their business as quickly as possible. Or if you're a consumer, just going back to your life and having the product work as you expect it to. So we take a look at 4 different issue types, 4 different customer types in different verticals, 4 different products. What is the right experience to create for them? And I think that's one of the challenges that we have. I would say if you ask me what our biggest challenge is, it's the complexity of the ecosystem we've created and all the different types of customers, whether it's small business, large business, an individual consumer, a nonprofit, a lawyer, a consultant. We have to kind of solve for all of them. And the only way you can do that is by leveraging the data to create more personalized experiences and leverage analytics output of that to then inform how do you then tweak what you've created.
That's absolutely right. I think the stakes are too high for guesswork. And the good thing is it doesn't have to be guesswork. With so much data available from so many different touch points and so many tools available for kind of processing and analyzing that data, you never have to go out on a limb. You can truly understand what moves the needle for your agents, for your customers, for your business. And it seems like that's going to be very valuable there. Now, sort of a final question I had for you was, we had a lot of people in your session at the CCW Exchange focusing on, I think, trying to get best practices for how they can maybe take some of your ideas, take some of your recommendations for using automation within their contact centers. As someone who's at the event, I'm wondering if you've looked at some organizations that maybe aren't where you are in terms of technological maturity, but maybe are doing things from a cultural standpoint or from a management standpoint where you can benefit from their best practices.
Yeah, I think a lot of it really comes down to seeing the companies that put the money where their mouth is, and if they want to be a digital-first company or a company that leverages artificial intelligence and data science to improve the customer experience, you have to invest in those things. It's not just going to happen. And you can't always just completely buy it either. You need to have some expertise and know-how in-house, because I think that there's a lot of third-party vendors out there that have really good sales and marketing, but then when you really dig under the hood, it's not that very differentiated and might not even be that special. So having some expertise and know-how in-house, or working with people or consultants who do have that expertise and are looking out for your best interests, I think really important. And then again, it does take investment. So we have a data science team with PhDs on it. We have engineering teams with really pretty amazing engineers. We have business leaders and operations leaders who think about this stuff and are excited about this stuff. So it's not just something that happens or that we've went out and bought. We've actually had to invest in it as a company.
Yeah, when you believe in what you're trying to do, then even if you had the best vendor in the world, even if you had a vendor that was truly committed to a partnership, when you know how to steer them, you're going to make the most out of that partnership.
Exactly.
Well, Nate, I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to thank you for delivering an excellent session and really opening the book on an organization that isn't experimenting with AI, but is really thinking where it's using it everywhere. It's really understanding the power, and now it's just how do you kind of make sure that all the investment, all the thought, all the ideas is going in the right directions at all time. So thanks again so much, and for CCW, this has been Brian Cantor.
Thank you.